Welcome to the Pipeline Podcast. Today's August 27th, and tonight we're talking about the Maui fires. We're going to break that down, go over some direct energy weapon conspiracy theories, and all the mistakes made by authority figures during the fire. And we're also going to talk about the Las Vegas shooter, the guy that shot up the concert a couple years ago. And we're going to link them together through the police chief. So the police chief at the time of these events was the same person. And we're going to look into him a little bit. So it's really going to be a great episode, and we're going to go pretty deep. So get excited. Let's check out our sources. And if you're not familiar with what we're doing here, every Wednesday we do a long form podcast episode like this one that really goes into a conspiracy theory or even just a current event that's important that we want to take a dive into. And then throughout the week, we'll do smaller videos on any fun stories that are just happening now. Earlier today, there was a shooting at a Catholic church, and apparently the shooter was a far left extremist. We'll probably do a short episode about that this week. So the first source here is aerial video after the fires. So this is Lahaina. So it's Maui, Hawaii, but it's this area called Lahaina, the city of Lahaina. This is where the major damage was. So I just wanted to show a video of what the fires looked like, so everyone kind of has a little bit of context and knows what's going on. This happened a couple years ago, and basically it was a forest fire, and it kind of wiped out a lot of this area here, a lot of houses, a lot of valuable real estate. So that's really what we're going to be talking about. Here we go into an official that maybe made a mistake, but let's get a little bit more background information first. So this happened in 2023 from Tuesday to Friday, the forest fire. Here we have a video of, I believe, Herman and Dea. He's defending his decision not to sound the sirens for the wildfires, which a lot of people say his choice was controversial. Here are the two sides to it. They should have sounded the alarm so people knew to evacuate. But then the reasoning they give is if you sound the alarms, it might make people go uphill towards the island, towards the center of the island, away from the water, because I think it's a tsunami. So that was the reason they didn't sound these alarms. But people aren't stupid and can kind of see smoke from fire is the argument about it. People should have been alerted either way is the other side of the argument there.
Well, I mean, if you're going to talk about alerting, Hawaii was also the state that not too long ago, 2018, actually sent a fake missile alert, warning everyone of an impending nuclear attack. And they were able to send it to everyone's phone. They were able to broadcast it over TV and radio. And so they could do that then for something that wasn't even happening, a fake event, but they couldn't do something for as devastating as a fire that killed as many people that it did.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It was a false missile alert, so it was a mistake. And I also have a video here, I believe, that shows how rushed and how bad they were at evacuating people. So let's watch that before we go into this government official kind of defend his mistake, alleged mistake. This is the response. This is how they were evacuating people instead of using the sirens.
This one. Okay, wait. We go check over here quick. Hello? Supposedly unresponsive. Hello, police!
So he says hello, says, oh, he's unresponsive.
Police! Police! Oh, the fucking fire's right. Oh, bro, we gotta fucking go.
And he's kind of panicking from the fires, so he doesn't want to stay that long.
Bro, we gotta fucking go, bro.
It doesn't even seem like they knock on his door.
No, they don't.
No, it's not. I think it's someone else, bro. It's the address they gave, but that's 113 that. Hello, police! Hello, police!
Here we go. They knocked on the door, and he just
Hello,
ding-dong
police.
dishes him.
Ding-dong dished him, yeah.
He's out of there.
What?
We gotta fucking go, bro.
And so they did this instead of sounding the alarms. Okay, yeah, so a little more context there. Now let's watch this video. So it's Herman and Dea. He's Maui Emergency Management Agency Administrator. And he's the one that didn't turn the sirens on, and he kind of has a response to it.
I went through a very arduous process in I was vetted, had to take a civil service exam. I was interviewed by seasoned emergency managers, and they all deemed me qualified. In fact, I was selected.
And Daya's defense of his actions are his first public comments since the wildfires broke out.
Do you regret not sounding the sirens?
I do not. And the reason why...
So many people said they could have been saved if they had time to escape. Had a siren gone off, they would have known that there was a crisis emerging. And as we know, so many bodies were found in the ground as the flames caught their heels.
Give me the answer.
The sirens, as I mentioned earlier, is used primarily for tsunamis. And that's the reason why many of them are found, almost all of them are found, on the coastline. The public is trained to seek higher ground in the event that the siren is sounded. Had we sounded the siren that night, we're afraid that people would have gone Malka. And if that was the case, then they would have gone into the fire. By the way, I should also note that there are no sirens.
We have here, they can send out emergency alerts, right? And because of the fires, there was widespread cell phone network outages. And so they couldn't send out an alert like they did for that 2018 false missile alert, which is like, maybe they should have sounded the sirens then. It's just more context. So that's some of that. And then we have just another instance of Hawaii officials fucking up. There was some state official that refused to release water for the Maui fires. And we're just going to look into that a little bit. Apparently, Maui refused help from other nearby, like firefighters.
Yeah,
Well,
from other regions.
yeah,
other
we'll try and
regions
look into
nearby.
that. And there's also on Hawaii, there's always been a fight for water, specifically in Maui. So we'll also talk about that a little bit. We'll go into this. So they delayed the release of water to landowners to help protect their property from fires.
Maui County emergency officials rejected state advice and additional state help in the early hours of August 2023 wildfires.
Oh, yeah. And I think that was also, there were some text messages from this guy where at first, yeah, he's like confused about if he does need the help or if his advisor asked for the help. Like there's just like extreme negligence. They're just not doing their job. They're not taking it seriously.
Which I just can't believe. You just can't believe that all these people are so negligent. It's like they're never negligent on the other things. It's always the important matters that everyone's negligent on.
Yeah, and so the people that had the water, so it was West Maui Land Co., and they control the water for a lot of these neighborhoods that were in the fire. And they asked the Department of Land and Natural Resources, like, hey, let us use the water so that residents could like turn their sprinklers on and stuff, try to stop the fire. And the Department of Land and Natural Resource said no. We need it for like the firefighters and stuff.
Oh, when can we get into space lasers?
We're getting there. We're getting to space lasers. Then it goes into accounts of the deputy director of the Department of Land and Natural Resource, like preventing the water from being used by this West Maui Land Co.
From all this incompetence and negligence, it's either that everyone just screwed up at their job so poorly, or they wanted these places to burn.
Right, yeah, it could be a conspiracy. They're just so bad at handling a crisis that it's like, come on, are you serious? So that's really enough of I just wanted to show, it's another example of just like a Hawaii official, Maui official that made a mistake here.
That costs lives and $6 billion of property damage.
Yeah, and then, here the Hawaii false missile crisis allegedly was a mistake as well. And then we have the pretty shitty job of the police evacuating people.
Well, and so real quick, I just really want to make this point abundantly clear, is how do you accidentally send out a fake missile attack text but can't purposely send out a hey, the fires are coming text or emergency broadcast?
So they did
how does
that, but apparently the fires took out the cell towers. So a lot of people didn't get it. Maybe, but they still didn't use the sirens. And it's like maybe they should have when they realized those cell towers were out. Oh, and then here's just another example. So there was a lot of roadblocks. The police, allegedly were given like bad instructions, blocking roads. A lot of these roads, people argue, should have been open for people to evacuate. But then
blocking major roads.
Yeah, the police say like, oh no, the fire could be down there or something. And so let's watch a little video on it.
Jonathan Herzog's day didn't just end with roadblocks, but it began with them during his AM commute from Kihei.
And then as I got into Lahaina, they were redirecting us all around through these back streets, and branches were coming down.
So he detoured over on Baker and then south again on Waine'e. At 3:19, his camera shows a police vehicle blocking access to the highway at Papalaua. But nothing had eased up, so without GPS, he heads north to look for an open route. His first view of the fire at 3:24 p.m. on the hillside, and just before 4 p.m., he ends up in this line of cars on Front Street, in gridlock.
My goal is to get into the Kingdom Hall parking lot. Just sat there, I think it was a good 25 minutes, something like that.
Holy cow, dude. So now the smoke is virtually blocking out the light. I am going to make my way down to the water.
At 4:26, Herzog abandoned his car at Kingdom Hall and walked to Mala Wharf.
It was obvious the fire was out of control, so that's when I decided to leave the vehicle completely.
Passing vehicle after vehicle, he noticed of those on the bridge.
All of those cars were still sitting there, just same exact spots.
KITV4 reported on the other side of the Cannery Mall that Herzog passed by in the 4 p.m. hour. The highway was completely shut down for 2.5 hours at Keawe Street until at least 5:24 p.m. Traffic routed.
I just want to point out that, yeah, they couldn't get that highway open for 2.5 hours. And apparently it was blocked or something, or gridlocked.
To the end of Front Street, and to his surprise,
it looked like 2 police vehicles parked kind of nose to that exit for Front Street, kind of at a V like this. The traffic had basically bottlenecked right there. So there were cars in both lanes trying to go north by this point.
And it's like they should be redirecting them like away from the fire, but it looks like none of the police just know how to properly respond. Or like maybe they're getting bad instructions.
But everyone was stopped on Front Street right there.
As the maintenance worker walked past the gridlock, heading north on foot, at 5:33 p.m. motorists had been fleeing into the water, as seen in Noah Tompkinson's video, 1 mile to the south of the Front Street roadblock near Baker, 2 blocks south of where Herzog had abandoned his car.
So yeah, that's just another example of like incompetence, or just Hawaii officials like kind of doing a bad job here. And what's up with that? They should be a little more prepared for this kind of stuff. Maybe it's a conspiracy. That's why we're covering it all. Oh, there are some conspiracy theories that it wasn't a forest fire. It was a direct energy weapon. We want to talk about that a little bit. We got to bring it up.
And let's just preface this by saying that direct energy weapons exist. They do, in fact, exist. Space laser beams are real. There are laser beams.
Yeah, let me actually
That's a joke about.
Oh yeah. Well, also, I think she's also the one that claimed that the weather seeding is a real thing, and she's not wrong.
Yeah, geoengineering, cloud seeding, that's all real. In fact, while you're doing that, the Texas floods that recently happened not too long ago, there's several conspiracy theories about how a startup company that is partially owned by Palantir or whatever did like cloud seeding exercises 2 days before the floods. No, there's no evidence of any direct correlation or connection between the two, but you know, people have still drawn conclusions regardless.
Yeah, it's something we might.
Weather seeding and geoengineering.
Yeah, it's something we might do. We might actually do an episode on. It's worth going into. There's a lot of examples of that kind of stuff.
Just very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the patent for like aerosol cloud seeding, whatever, is like back in the 70s or 60s or 60s through the 80s.
Here I just wanted to pull up how much money like the Space Force gets, or that the military budget gets to do like space kind of operations. And it's like billions of dollars. And it most likely is to develop these kind of like direct energy weapons. They're like satellites that can just beam down. And I believe China also is developing them.
Really quick, 1948 was a U.S. patent for process for controlling weather.
Oh yeah, back to the
applications and issuances increased significantly from the mid 90s to the mid 2010s.
Yeah, so there are a lot of people that believe like it was, it could have been like weather manipulation that started the fire. It could have been like a direct energy weapon. So it's a lot of that kind of stuff. We wanted to kind of go over that.
It could be global warming.
Yeah,
But the
absolutely.
funny thing, which I kind of hinted at earlier that I wanted to mention now, is when we were talking about, using water for homes and having access to water, potentially like people being able to water their grass to prevent forest fires from actually spreading to their homes.
Yeah, it's a good
Or
strategy
at
and it
least
works.
yes, it works. In fact, if you look at the LA fires, there was that one business owner who was under fire because he rented a bunch of water trucks and was able to save his businesses. Whereas a bunch of people online got mad at him, saying like, why didn't you do this for everyone else or something? And he's like, hey guys, like I did this for my businesses in these places. He's like, why didn't the government do this?
Yeah, I'm just looking up a source there. I'm trying to show an example of someone actually saving their home just by using their faucet
Well, and
hose.
here's where I was getting to, and this is what I was getting to, is that there are giant conspiracy theories about the many celebrities like Jeff Bezos, all these people who have homes in Maui or Lahaina and were like not touched or whatever. They did not get like burned down
Oh yeah, there are a
or not as
lot that weren't touched.
right, or it's not as badly as other homes. One, it's different locations, but two, these are also like multimillionaires, right? So these people probably are paying for like lawn care and have in-ground sprinkler systems and all these things. So all those little things, just like keeping your yard wet, like that could just prevent them from, having anything happen. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
absolutely.
debunking the concept of, I think the conspiracy theory was this controlling the space laser knew which buildings not to just drop the hammer of dawn on.
Yeah, it's just an example of they just use their hose and they save their whole home from the fires.
Yeah, you just wet everything.
Yeah, and you can just kind of put it out. And people, the thing is like on Hawaii, the water is a little bit, the water resource is a little bit more limited. And then here we have a source. I mean, it's just an AI overview. Like the people that lost their homes in Lahaina, they still can't go back because of slow debris removal, things like permits, like bureaucracy, stupid stuff. And then at the same time, these property owners are facing like very aggressive pressure to sell their land from like real estate investors. They also only got, I think it was, they only got $700 from FEMA. So they're just not being like taken care of. And it almost seems like they're being pressured to sell their land. Like, hey, you're not really getting any assistance. You can't rebuild. You might as well just sell off your land to some company that wants to invest in it, build a business, build like apartments. They're kind of like
Right.
being forced out.
And so the big thing is that, after even 18 months. And so these people have lost their home, and so they have to go pay for somewhere else to live, but they still have to pay for the mortgages on their house.
They only
And they
got
got
paid.
$700
Yeah,
once.
that's not
And so they
enough.
still have to pay for their mortgage of a house that no longer exists, they don't live at, and they have to pay for expenses of where they're currently living at, right? And so it seems like they're really getting squeezed by the government and by the insurance companies to try and get rid of the property instead of trying to maintain their payments and then rebuild or fight for money to get to be able to rebuild. But they're not even able to return to their homes in the first place.
Yeah, they
As
still
soon as the
can't.
fire right, and as soon as the fire happened, they put up those privacy black mat fence around everywhere so people couldn't go back or people couldn't see what was happening inside, where they used to live. And so it just seems like this is the government aiding and these insurance companies aiding in doing a land grab, just buying up all this land from all these poor people at discount prices. And
Yeah,
then the insurance companies even tried to pull their insurance and not pay out for a lot of the fire damages. A
the
court case forcing them to do so.
yeah. Let me see if I can pull that up. There was a court case. It looks like the wildfire victims are suing the insurance companies for a $4 billion settlement that's like going through the court system right now. Let's look into that a little bit. Okay, so it looks like there's $5.5 billion in damage from the wildfires. And insurance companies were going to pay out $4 billion, but they haven't paid it out yet. So most likely because they're squeezing these people to sell their land to the real estate developers.
Or forcing them to take less money because they can't hold out longer.
Yeah, because they obviously don't have a house.
And they're like I said, they'd have to pay for 2 homes right now. They're paying for their mortgage on the home that was destroyed and wherever they're living right now. And so they're betting on people having to they're betting on people wanting to take the money now as low as possible than trying to fight for a higher amount because they're hurting.
It kind of sucks to be one of those victims that lost your house there.
And to only get $700 from FEMA.
Yeah, which isn't enough. That doesn't even
We're
cover your 18 months of rent that you're paying right now to live somewhere.
Or we have a government that's able to meet to have an emergency meeting and send billions of dollars to Ukraine or give immigrants, $1,000 card or whatever, but we only give $700 to our own citizens.
Yeah, so it is kind of ridiculous. That's why we're going into it today.
Seems like this was all mismanaged, whether that was an intentional thing or not.
Yeah, it could have been intentional. They did it on purpose to land grab these people.
The fact that all these things that they have in place, like sirens, having water reserves, their emergency broadcast system, by having all these things and them all failing simultaneously, along with all of the authorities in place there, just shows that all these officials need to be replaced, or that it was purposely done for another reason.
Yeah, and they're still dragging their feet, not letting the houses get rebuilt and all that. And same with the lawsuit, which is still ongoing for people just to get an insurance payout for their house that burned down.
Which makes me think, though, the large wealthy community down there is trying to buy up the property at a fire sale instead of having to play hardball with all these people and buy them out individually.
Yeah, it's literally a fire sale.
Yep. And, at the head of it, of course, for this whole debacle.
At the head of all this is the police captain of Maui during the time, is the same guy that's the police captain of Las Vegas during the Vegas shooter that we're going to talk about.
So the Maui police chief, John Pelletier, he has had a odd run-in with mass casualty events in his tenure. And
Absolutely.
So here he is as captain of Maui police chief, in charge of all of these cops directing traffic and just doing instead of doing sirens, we're going to send the cops to yell outside your house and come and get you for evacuation. He was also a major part of one of I believe the biggest U.S. mass shooting in history, the biggest U.S. mass shooting, which we still haven't gotten answers from. Everyone kind of talked about it for a little bit and then it just disappeared. He was the center of attention of that 2017 mass shooting, and now he is 5 years later over in Hawaii.
Yeah, that was the Vegas shooting, which we're gonna get into. So he is implicated with the Vegas shooting. He's implicated with the Maui fires. He also got brought into the Diddy case based on some allegation that he helped Diddy out, which was proven to be fake, but either way, it's worth bringing up. And maybe we'll look into it in the future. And then also in 2020, he was granted top secret sensitive compartmented information clearance. It's just a high level of security clearance that is given throughout the government. It doesn't really say why he got that, and we're not going to spend too much time on that today, but this guy could be connected and could be part of all these things if it really is a conspiracy, and it kind of links these two events together that we're going over tonight.
Well, and so the one thing is, having a compartmented information clearance is he has slight basic access to slight confidential secrets, right? Which, why is
direct energy weapons?
Direct energy weapons or potential foreign terroristic activities happening in a urban environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 2017 Las Vegas shooting is the deadliest mass shooting in the United States.
Let me pull up just a quick source on the Vegas shooting. So in case you're unfamiliar,
John Pelletier which is the police chief in the Maui fire incident, was the Las Vegas police captain
Yep.
who oversaw the investigation into the U.S.'s largest mass shooting in ever in
Yeah,
U.S.
same
history.
guy. And it was also the Maui fires were the largest, I believe it was the most devastating forest fires in the US as well. So and
Wow.
he's the police captain in both of those. Yeah, it is very interesting.
Coincidences upon coincidences.
So yeah, this is just in case you haven't heard of the Las Vegas shooting, like it was
In 2017, there was a concert in Las Vegas in the Strip, and it was a country festival. I believe the singer who was famous for that was like Jason Aldean or something like that. He was doing some concert, and a bunch of people were there. And across the street from the Mandalay Bay Hotel was Stephen Paddock, and allegedly decided to shoot through his window onto the concert.
and he
Which I would
killed
like
59, 58 or 59. I'm getting different
Yeah.
sources. And it was like, what is it? The deadliest mass shooting in modern US history.
Apparently, it was it was 400 yards away, so 4 football fields, excuse me.
Yeah, and
So
he's on
he
the
was
34th floor.
of a hotel shooting from 4 football fields away.
Yeah, and he killed 59 and hurt about 500.
And then
One
killed
guy.
himself.
Yeah, and then shot himself. So we're going to go into that. The first thing we should do is I just pulled up the Wikipedia on Stephen Paddock. We're going to go through a little bit of information about him because he's a suspicious character, and so we kind of need to know about that.
He's a ghost.
So yeah, the first note of interest about him is his father escaped from prison in 1969 and ended up on the FBI's most wanted list. So, and you put your tinfoil hat on and he has FBI ties now. Grew up with
Already.
it. Already. Yeah.
The first paragraph.
Yeah, he's 7 years old, already tied to the FBI. Fun stuff. There's like 2 more things I just want to bring up about his career. He's worked in the government a lot. So he started out as a postal worker, then worked at the IRS. Later on, he worked as a defense contract audit agency, which was later merged into Lockheed Martin. So this guy has like FBI, Lockheed Martin, government ties, military contractor ties. So this is the alleged like lone gunman right here. What to go over that?
Gunman killed 58 people with a bump stock from 4 football fields away.
Yeah.
Out of his hotel room. That is the official narrative. No known motive.
No known motive.
Case closed. I'm going to go get a job in Maui.
So the conspiracy we want to talk about is it wasn't just a mass shooting. It was actually an assassination attempt. And that's what we're getting into.
It was a terrorist attack on U.S. soil. It was a distraction for the attempted assassination of Mohammed bin Salma or his brother. I believe it is Khalid bin Salma. Is that it?
So yeah, the conspiracy is that it was like a Saudi hit squad that was trying to assassinate a Saudi crown prince, which they do that kind of stuff a lot.
Terrorist attack perpetrated by Saudi Arabia trying to kill Mohammed bin Salma, the crown prince, or his brother Khalid bin Salma. This is most likely Khalid bin Salma, the Saudi ambassador to the United States.
People say the whole shooting was an assassination plot to kill the brother of the Saudi prince.
Mohammed bin Salma, which is the Saudi crown prince, and his brother Khalid bin Salma.
And these guys are so hard to follow.
So there's a million different princes. So basically, all of the brothers in the Saudi royal family are princes, and basically all of their kids are princes.
So yeah, this is Khalid bin Salma.
And so let's take a look at that go to the first row picture, all the way to the right, the fourth one. Yeah, that one. Now take a look at that guy. Now let's look at the video.
Yeah, and this is him getting escorted out. This is a different hotel. This is the Tropicana. The
This is
shooting,
not Mandalay Bay.
yeah, the shooting happened at Mandalay Bay, and those were like allegedly like a SWAT team, but also in conspiracy land, that's like BlackRock or something, a military contractor, or like the FBI, CIA escorting him out because he's like under their protection. And so yeah, they're saying this guy, yeah, is Khalid, and there was an assassination
Khalid.
attempt. They thought he was gonna be at the Mandalay Bay hotel room because they own like the top 4 floors, but he wasn't there.
So one of the brothers, one of King Solomon's brothers, Talil, he owns the 2 floors on the top of Mandalay Bay.
I think it was 4.
Called the maybe it's 4th floor, the 4 Seasons. It's called the 4
Yeah,
Seasons, right?
yeah.
Like 2 floors on top of Mandalay Bay, and so he had all those floors like rented out like to them, saying that they were staying and occupying both of those floors.
Yeah, that's where this guy allegedly might have been staying.
And Khalid was staying there, and allegedly Mohammed bin Salma, his brother, was also staying there.
Right above where the shooting took place.
And so that's why so the reason for Stephen Paddock, where he comes in, he was a CIA spook who was a gun runner for the CIA doing arms deals for terrorists so that they can like track these terrorists or track the weapons or figure out where they're going or do a sting operation. And so Stephen Paddock was selling them these guns and just doing an arms deal. But these people was a Saudi hit team that was they were meeting him there to actually get the weapons to carry out the assassination attempt. And so the whole Route 31 was just a distraction for them to be able to cause some chaos, ensue some panic, and try and get their target. That's why it wasn't just at the festival. There's also reports of gunshots and gunfire and dead bodies at other places like the Tropicana or Alibaba and Giles.
Yeah, and we'll get into that a little bit later. We'll look into those other like gunshot sources. Those other sources.
There's also some helicopters involved and the rooftops involved.
Oh yeah, we can get into that helicopter next. So this is allegedly, if you're in conspiracy theory land, this is the like hit squad that was at the gun deal where the shooting took place. So these are the people that allegedly actually shot the crowd. And they're fleeing in a helicopter. And you see like this, allegedly these dots here, like gunshots coming from the helicopter.
And then there are 4 helicopters like going to and from the nearby airport with their transponders like turning off and then turning back on.
Yeah, that's the claim is the people to escape, these like Saudi hitmen, like turned off their helicopter transponders so that they couldn't be tracked. And then they just flew to like another landing pad somewhere, or flew to the airport, which is close by, and just dipped.
Which there were reports of gunmen on the
tarmac
airport runway.
Yeah, there's also reports of that. I think it was in this police radio video actually somewhere else. Here is just it's a quick clip of them saying that there's gunmen at a different casino. Because the story that mainstream media is saying and everyone hears is that there was this shooting at the concert, but this is
Mandalay Bay Casino, the Mandalay Bay Hotel shooting into the concert. Just one gunman shooting from a hotel 400 yards away out of a 30-second window, 30-second story window.
This is like police scanner evidence that like it wasn't just one guy. Like there was other stuff happening. So let's play it.
So 224. Stage A is going to be the front parking lot of South Central. The CP is in the South Central, confirming the Mandalay Bay and Alibaba and Giles are the 2 shooting locations. Do we have a third?
So that's there on the police scanner saying like there's confirmed 2 shooting locations. Even though the Alibaba shooting location, I can't really find anything on, but like there is a lot of stuff going on, and it's easy for this story. Like this story is just riddled with conspiracy. I mean, what's up with the other shooting location?
Well, right, and so now we're told it's just Mandalay Bay and one shooter, but how are we hearing stories about Alibaba and Giles, and then also Tropicana, which was where we saw potentially Khalid bin Salma being escorted out from the SWAT team.
Yeah, and there are some not believed videos of like dead bodies in the Tropicana. Like there's a shootout there allegedly.
Yeah, there's a Laura Loomer video allegedly with dead bodies at, I believe, the Tropicana during this event.
And like the story of a lone gunman just doesn't hold up. There's like so much other evidence that says that's not the case. Oh, and this is a great source as well. So this is a witness from the concert claiming that he saw shooting from the roof of the Mandalay Bay. But the official narrative is the lone gunman was on the 34th floor. But if you're following along with our conspiracy, these hitmen that were there for that gun deal gone wrong, where they actually started shooting into the crowd, they were trying to go to the top floors to assassinate this guy in our first video here, the Crown Prince, Saudi Prince Khalid bin Salman. So if you're following along with that, let's continue.
Or they were also looking for his brother, Mohammed bin Salman.
Yeah, and he apparently would have been on the top floors, and then it looks like they used the roof of the building to escape via helicopter.
Some of them. Others, allegedly 2 died in the room along with Stephen Paddock. Which, by the way, Stephen Paddock allegedly shot himself, but there's also allegedly two kill shots on him. Which is
something like
probable.
he committed suicide twice, allegedly, which is like kind of weird.
For all of the bullets that were fired through the recording, there's not enough bullet casings to match that in the room.
Oh yeah, and there's like real evidence that not all the magazines were like loaded, and it's because it was an arms deal, so he didn't have everything loaded and ready to go.
And additionally, the bodyguard who alerted a lot of people to the event, Jesus Campos, disappeared, went on Ellen once, then disappeared again, and no one's really heard from him or heard much more than his softball interview he had with Ellen.
Yeah, that's fun stuff, and we're not even going to get into Alan tonight. So
anyways, here's a little bit more evidence of a witness testimony of gunshots from on top of Mandalay Bay on the roof.
The Mandalay Bay roof, he had to been because it was coming down, and then...
So yeah, he's saying he's on the roof. Let's back up a second and watch it.
It's a terrorist. That was a f***ing joke.
Where was he at?
On the Mandalay Bay roof, he had to been because it was coming down, and then it...
So yeah, he's saying there's a terrorist on the Mandalay Bay roof. That's like a witness from the event. Okay, yeah, let's start from the beginning.
Which would be the helicopter in this instance. Would be the helicopter on top of the Mandalay Bay roof, which allegedly or apparently has a helipad.
All right, thank you.
What's going on?
And so, I mean, there's acoustics you have to worry about in ricochets, but it definitely sounds like more than one person firing.
Yeah, like if you can hear that, it sounded like 2 gunshots like simultaneously. But again, yeah, it could just be like echoes.
The acoustics of the city are ricochets.
But like if I were playing a game, if I were in a game of PUBG and I heard those shots, I would tell my teammates like, oh, there's 2 people.
Take me to her.
Still has a pulse.
Where's it coming from?
It honestly
Where
sounds
is
like
this
2
guy?
different rates of fire. Granted, this is a shitty video from 8 years ago, but
absolutely.
I've seen analytic, like our audio like analyzed, and it shows a lower rate of fire than what he was alleged using with his bump stock, and it shows multiple firing at multiple shots fired at the same time. So again, that could be acoustics, but it seems unlikely.
He's up in the building.
What building?
From like literally right here.
I wish I knew where he was shooting from.
31st floor on Mandalay is what I heard.
Then there's no point in going forward. We need to get them out. Yeah, carrier medical won't come in here.
We have that round coming for about... Hey,
Did you see how it started?
I went to the right of the stage. He was shooting. And I said as a joke in front of everybody, I said as a joke, it's a terrorist. As a f***ing joke.
Where was he at?
On the Mandalay Bay roof. He had to have been because they were coming down. And then it kept going. And then all of a sudden it got quiet. Then people left on the stage and we still didn't know it. And the girl to the left of me, they went down. And I hit. That's right. You did the right thing.
Oh, he said the girl next to him got shot. So yeah, that's just another source. So he was saying that there was gunshots on the roof. That's what he saw.
And so, out of all the conspiracies that you hear about this, I do think that the Saudi Arabian prince assassination attempt makes way more sense, especially on how it was handled.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like so much circumstantial evidence that we're not getting the full story here at all. And we can even go into this happened like after Trump met with that guy. They were trying to become less reliant on oil because they were realizing they did have a hard time competing with like other oil industries. And so they realized like we should invest in like other businesses and stuff and learn how to do that. So there was like a, some kind of deal with Donald Trump where the countries were going to work together a little more, help them be more industrialized and less reliant on oil. The guy,
so Donald Trump was able to get the Saudi Arabian oil companies on the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah, and he was able to get them to stop funding terrorists like the Islamic State,
and then do things like allow their women to drive,
which like upset a lot of these other princes in the family because they didn't like liberalism or being more moderate. So like really conservative, really religious.
And so then you have King Salma getting rid of all of these brothers and other family members who don't like the fact that he's changing Saudi Arabia to a more moderate country.
They're letting women drive. How could they do that? If a woman drives, it destroys her ovaries. Like they say that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and so because of the different directions and because King Salma had taken away their chance to be king, the different faction was trying to coup King Salma and the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salma.
Yes. Yeah.
And so this was most likely a response. This assassination attempt was most likely a response to all the different princes and crown princes being removed from their position or imprisoned and tortured. And that's why after this we have more princes getting rounded up and put in jail and relieved of their positions.
Yeah, it's like Game of Thrones with those Saudi princes.
Pretty much.
So the guy who led this like major transformation in Saudi Arabia was the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He's the kind of guy that like worked to try to like get less reliant on oil and bring in more like moderate policies.
Mohammed bin Salma and Khalid bin Salma
are brothers.
Were both in Las Vegas at the time. Correct. Both of them were in Las Vegas at the time, staying at the Four Seasons. And so that's why they sent out the hit squads there to
try to kill both of them? Oh, yep. Okay, gotcha. And so, yeah, the video that we had is Khalid, the brother of the Crown Prince, and he's getting escorted out. So maybe Mohammed bin Salman was in the. I mean, maybe he left in the helicopter.
They were both yeah. So allegedly, Mohammed bin Salman and Khalid, if you saw the SWAT team, apparently they also took them out on the helicopters.
Okay, gotcha.
Them out of there, helicopters. So I think those 4 helicopters we saw in that one video that I showed you, them taking off, I believe
that was the FBI going to pick them up or something.
That was the FBI going to evac them from the area.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I wanted to connect that a little bit. And these people that were being assassinated are the ones that were like they were leading that transformation in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and so Mohammed bin Salman is the current king of Saudi Arabia's son. And so he was named Crown Prince back in like the 2010s. And so they did not like all the changes that they were making. The other faction, the Wahhabi faction, did not like that, and they wanted to try and take over the crown.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really interesting.
Not even a month after this failed assassination attempt, You have another crown prince, his son being killed in a helicopter crash, which he then goes and blames on King Salma. Mansour Merquin.
Yeah, and he's one of the guys that allegedly was running this assassination attempt in Vegas, and he died in a helicopter crash after the fact.
Merquin was first deputy crown prince, first deputy prime minister, and he was relieved of his position in 2015. And so that meant that he could no longer go and become the king anymore, or was most likely not in the running to become the king anymore. And so he was one of the people, along with that bin Naif that we talked about earlier. That's the group of Saudi officials who tried to conspire and attempt to assassinate the crown prince. And then a month after the failed assassination attempt, Merquin's son, Mansour, was killed in a helicopter crash, which Merquin then blames on the king of Saudi Arabia.
It's like a power struggle type thing. Some Game of Thrones stuff. It's hard to follow too.
Additionally, again, a month after this event, many more Saudi officials were rounded up and put in prison.
Yeah, for alleged corruption.
Corruption in quotation marks.
Yeah, it's probably just it could be funding terrorists.
So this was most likely just a cover-up for us to not go to war with Saudi Arabia, because we would most definitely...
Yeah, so basically if it was proven that this terrorist attack was done by Saudi Arabians and it killed 59 people, the American public would be outraged. And so this is a cover-up story.
Exactly, to prevent another war.
Yeah, because it could prevent a war, absolutely.
Additionally, it could also prevent other issues about 9/11 coming to light.
Sure, yeah.
Because Saudi Arabia had a heavy hand in 9/11.
Absolutely.
And they're one of our current best friends.
Yeah, we wanna make them look good because we're working with them right now. This police captain at both these events, Maui and Vegas, had intelligence clearance. He had top secret sensitive compartmented information clearance.
A couple years after Las Vegas and a couple years before Maui.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much the video. Let us know if you have any questions or comments on the things that we could have talked about. I mean, it goes so deep here that we can make this video last forever.
You could make a very long video going in and out the Saudi family, the geopolitics around the area, and the royalty at the time.
And the other shootings at the other locations in Vegas at the time.
But one of the biggest issues is that even though this was only 8 years ago, ever since 2018, I feel or even before then, Google has done its best to just scrub any non-mainstream information off of the internet. So it's been very hard to just find half of this information.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because this all happened during, I believe it was Trump's first term. And after his first term, we kind of went through a phase where people like Alex Jones were getting sued for talking about this kind of stuff. And a lot of videos and sources got deleted. It kind of became taboo for a while. And we've seen what's happened to Alex Jones. And so other conspiracy theories, I feel it went through a time period where we also see a lot of these media companies taking down what they call false information or misinformation.
But it's just information that doesn't fit the current narrative.
Yeah, so there was a lot of sources that we had trouble finding. There's a lot more we just also couldn't go over in the video. There's a lot more to it. And that's the video. Definitely subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Subscribe.
Yeah.
And check out other episodes.
Would subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. And then check out other videos on the channel. And every Wednesday we'll be doing a stream like this. If you want to follow along on Twitch, check it out.
Real quick, and if there's any conspiracies you want us to talk about, you should write a comment or send us an email or a message or something.
Oh, absolutely. We've gotten a couple pretty good ones, and we will always read them. And so definitely go ahead. I recommend that.
I am always happy to talk about 9/11.
Yeah. And
there was only two planes, but 3 towers fell. How did that happen? What's up with that?
Pretty crazy. We'll definitely get into it on the channel. On the Twitch, if you follow along on our streams, you can definitely comment while we're doing the videos. If you have any other sources you want us to go over that you want in the video, You can chat with us on there while we're recording. So have a good night.